Well. Finally, we're getting to the video that we were supposed to get to a wee while ago. So, I had said previously that I was going to talk about what I had used in my case for the hospital, and I can safely say most of everything that I had, I used. And I also ended up at the shop buying more.
Yeah.
Because we outstayed our welcome, as we would say. We ended up getting induction due to the sciatica, and we were going to go along and surprise people by coming back with a child. And it didn't go as smoothly as that. We ended up there for nearly 5 days. So because someone didn't want to come out, was quite happy.
Comfortable.
That's not the word. So yeah, but birth had been a wee bit interesting, as we'll say. I was waiting for a place on the labour ward. I'd had 3 pessaries, and then eventually, almost 2 kind of days later, I was down to labour ward in the morning. Waiting, they got me started, they got me induced. Stephanie thought that there was pain relief in the bag to help her above, and there wasn't. So I ended up 5 centimetres dilated with no pain relief. And I was probably a psycho, climbing the walls. I don't recommend gas and air. Not grand, doesn't work.
It does work. You just got to persist with it. It didn't work for you.
Yeah, so contractions were coming along very nicely. I had progressed pretty quickly, to be fair.
Yeah. Well, you went from what, 2 centimetres to 5 within 5 hours, and then from 5 to 10 within 3 hours.
Yeah, so that's pretty rapid, as they say. So yeah, and then I ended up, I couldn't handle much more, so I ended up with an epidural. And then I ended up, because someone didn't want to start his eviction notice, getting a forceps delivery. But I would never say to people about what we spoke about before, about horror stories, because at the end of the day, it wasn't actually that bad. And then what you get at the end of it, and then you come out the end going, how? How did we do that?
I think it's the thought more than anything, when you see kind of the doctors and all the midwives and that getting set up for the delivery.
Yeah.
Makes you actually think about it a lot worse, but obviously with the epidural that helped, because you had no sensation down there at all.
No.
I wouldn't be able, like, you would be able to comment on what it would be like with, like, diamorphine or like other stuff, because it might be slightly different in that way.
Yeah. So yeah, it was interesting, to say the least. So obviously we had to tell family, but we weren't too well, the both of us, and we got antibiotics for the wee one, and all the checks done before we left, and then got all my checks done. Yeah, and then we've got a fun end product in the corner here that wants to be part of this video by the sounds of it. I don't know what else like to cover.
I think if you are going to go for the induction process,
Prepare yourself.
yeah, prepare yourself that you might be in for longer.
We thought we
Than-
were prepared, and no.
We kind of expected 3 to 4 days, but we mean it ended up being nearly 6.
It could have, it could have been longer, and you've got to have money sitting there like for hotels and stuff, and food and fuel, everything else, clothes because you're going to need extra. Although the hospital does help you, that's another thing. Obviously, the Royal Alexandra, I couldn't thank them enough because they took quite a bit of stick from me. But it's nothing they probably haven't seen. But no, they were great, labour and midwifery. So yeah, I can't really say anything about that either. I don't know what else. Just other than if anybody wants to ask any questions, not that I'm a huge professional, but I can try and answer it from my experience if anybody wants to comment or ask anything. So yeah, but no, they say to you, would you do it again? Well, I'm not saying no. So, and then you just think, and then you look back because Cameron did manage to film some of it, and he did actually pretty well with it, and that way that you can actually see for yourself what an emotional roller coaster that is. Like, it is mad. Like, you're going through all the emotions, not knowing what's going on really until you see it. And by God, when I seen it, the state of me, in a good way. But yeah, and you're just glad to like both be healthy, safe. So I think that means yes from the corner over here. But yeah, and you look constantly and you think, how did we do that?
Mm-hmm.
Like, how? But yeah, scary, eh? What we got there? Yeah, I think that's a yes.
Yeah.
I don't know what else to say about the birth or what I used.
No, it's pretty much used everything that you had.
Yeah.
And I think the only thing we'd probably genuinely discuss your pain relief options.
Yeah.
And make sure
yeah.
that you do. I mean, if you don't think that you're able to cope with it, then get an epidural if that's something that doesn't bother you. Process does look pretty scary, but in general it's not really as scary as you think. It's just mainly keeping still so that they can do what they need to do, but it works fantastically. And
everything I went through it, all of that, even other things that they gave me as an option, is got risks. They all do, but at the end of the day, what are you supposed to do? That you're going to have to get this child out somehow. Yeah. And they definitely entertain you, that's for sure. I wonder if that'll be in that video. But anyway, yeah. So, the amount of changes you go through in the time of being there and to the time of coming home with this wee person is mad.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Definitely a journey you won't forget.
No. So, and then maybe one day he'll get to look back at this and be like, I get it. So.
No, turn himself around.
Yep. So we can now show you our slight weirdo of a child. He's having a paloorie over here. But then we have the end product. You see? Oh, there, yeah.
Is that your 5 minutes of fame?
Yep. You're hairy squishy. Eh?
You can have your wee 5 minutes of fame,
Yes.
can't you?
Mm-hmm.
Well, you're supposed to be sleeping, but you decide not to. Eh?
Well, that would be us, guys. But if you've got anything to ask, then let us know. Bye.
We used